Start with a roll call, please.
Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Present.
Director Mueller,
Here.
Vice President Feldman.
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Counted for. All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. God save me.
All right, do we have any public comments, please? Unseen. We'll move on to the consent calendar. Do any directors have any comments, removals, requests, or a motion to approve?
I have a comment. Please. I thought, I'm not sure it was in this report. Might be in the wrong report. But there were no leaks. We didn't have any leaks
They've done such a good job.
in the district, but I think that's got to be so off to think about something. No leaks. We don't lose any water. Wow. So anyway, compliments, kudos. Thanks for the great job.
And our claims were approved by Director Mueller.
Yeah.
All in order?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just reviewed it and it looked like our engineering firm and Hanson Bridget had a good month for us. We had 11 there and we had a number, and I only had one question on the refunds. We had 13 refunds. Those are just simple refunds.
Yes,
Okay,
but basically they could be where the customer paid a deposit and they're getting, and they moved away, and so we give them their deposit back.
I see. Okay, thank you for that. I think that was it. And it's an interesting, our waste Republic Service invoices is strong there. Yeah. And so, yeah. And water, San Francisco PUC is always very strong. And there was just one more question, please, on Timothy Bowser. But I don't know the company or individual's cost.
He's a consultant that works with us on our City Works and ESRI programs.
Okay. Thank you. I think that covers it all. Thank you very much.
You feel up to making a motion to?
I would move the monthly claims report is all in order.
I'll second. All right.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Well, do we want to jump all the way to confirming the consent calendar as presented, or do we just want to do the financial statement?
No, I was approving the whole consent calendar.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
not
think
the
the motion
motion.
needs to be
The motion.
All right, why don't you make a motion?
Well, I mean, I move we approve the consent calendar as presented.
Okay.
I'll second that. Sorry.
Director Mueller, are you okay with that? Because he actually made a motion.
Well, so he has to remove it, so I just, you want to withdraw your motion, or I'm making that?
I will withdraw my motion and you can follow that. I just had some questions to ask regarding my.
Well, I don't think the questions are an issue. It's just, do we want to approve only your portion of the consent calendar or the entire consent calendar?
Yeah.
I think you're in agreement that we want to approve the whole consent calendar.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be obnoxious. I just trying to get on with the agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Reason.
Yeah, so right now we have a motion that's been withdrawn.
right?
We have a motion to approve the entire consent calendar. And then we have a second. And so you can ask for a vote.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Feldman,
Yes.
President.
Yes. Anybody attend any meetings or have any comments for us?
Oh, good.
I attended a Boston meeting and the big event is on our monthly report, so we'll wait for that.
Perfect. Anybody else?
Now we have Board and vice chair, myself and staff attended Aqua's region meetings down in San Diego. I attended Region 5 and all the other ones, and thank God staff was there because there was a lot of AI talk. Help me, that's beyond me. And then the other one was this terrible pollution water issues with aqua members on the what was it, a clam?
Golden Miles.
Golden
Mussel.
mussel, yeah. Oh, my God, those poor guys spend millions of dollars on keeping that clean. $20 million, I think, was the number they brought out there one time. Yeah, so.
As soon as they come up with a recipe for them, the problem is gonna be solved.
Fully based.
But anyway, so, and then thank you, carefully here, but our law firm had a Aqua event for a visit, so we visited with them and engineering firm too. So we would walk from one building to another, but it was well done and well respected, and we didn't drink, so we respected them all. It was good visiting with all the different districts they customers for, so thank you. Both of them. So that's enough. Aqua's a pretty huge deal, and they even, the first time I remember with them, they even made government presentations. I mean, federal, not even only state, so they work hard for our membership, and our membership is not inexpensive, but I think it's worth being a member of Aqua, and the insurance they cover too for the employees, but and then Vice Chair was there too. He, I'm sure, has some comments. He was all over the AI stuff.
So the venue was interesting. I've been in a lot of these. This was an interesting venue. It's quite large. Biggest one I think I've ever been at. It felt, I don't know how many people must have attended. Must have been 1,300, over 1,000 people, I assume. This was a big enough venue to set up my morning constitutional, which is I do a walk every morning.
Yeah.
Here, well, I was able to do that by moving from my room to the conference area.
Yeah.
One walk each way was almost half of my morning walk. If you walk it 3 times, you've gotten 3 miles. I mean, this was a big venue. It's a big operation. The thing I do there normally is go to sessions where I can make a comparison to something new between how we do things and how other people do things. It's sort of a comparative analysis to get other people's perceptions, especially those that are somewhat larger than us, etc. One of the things they did this year was they had a lot of farming stuff. They had I think the president and CEO of the Farm Bureau of California there, and he discussed the farming issues that exist. And I have to tell you that things are tough, still tough. We know how it is for agriculture here and what transpired, but the entire state is also having great difficulty. Water is a key issue. Many of them, it hadn't been for us, fortunately, in Half Bay, but rest of the state is really looking for ways to help to provide the water necessary, because many people are on far less water rations than they used to have. And it was a pretty sobering discussion, particularly because of the size of our agricultural base. Another interesting session was what was called the cost of reliability. And what that really amounts to is how much do you have to spend to have your system reliable and your environment stable for the customer? What is the limit? What are the risks if you don't spend it? And I compared what we do, how we do our budgeting, our expense control, our financial work, and our infrastructure planning, CIP stuff, against other people who were talking, including people like Orange County and San Diego. And I have to say, again, not wanting to be too much of a one tutor, but we do a really good job of taking care of our business in this district when it comes to how we do all these things. And our cost of reliability, to me, is something I'm very confident about because of the way we apply ourselves to making it happen, the way we plan for it, and the way we execute. And for a little operation compared to some of the bigger ones, I think we do as well as they do in some of the really large environments, and I was very pleased with that. So it's just simply saying that, comparatively speaking, I was very impressed with the way we do business from what I learned there. That's really an honest statement of what I feel. AI, I went to a session on AI, and yes, it's here to stay, but I think it has to be brought to bear in the right place at the right time in the right way. So when we go there, and we should go there at some point in some fashion, and we should plan to do that, we've got to be really conscious of how we do it and where we do it in the environment and in our business. Because if you don't do it the right way, it can be a real plumber in terms of the perception of the public. We have a customer base that expects us to be able to be found. And you've got to be careful if you use AI for your customer service and respond with AI to their questions, or if you respond verbally with a real person. And that may not be the right place to enter. So we need to find out how to put our data together here in the environment, all the data we've collected over the years in an AI base that gives our staff the ability to find what they need quickly. That's where we'll have the most impact, I think, in our business. And so that's what I would caution, having seen that and listened to a presentation about how it's used in a lot of environments and how they're trying to make it easier. So that would just be another one. The third one is the subject of investing your assets in the right way to be able to do your infrastructure development, et cetera. And right now, once again, I looked at it and we have the right moves for that. I mean, we have reserves, but we're not there to make money on the reserves. That's not our business. Our business is to use those reserves to build our infrastructure and to deliver things to our public. We put it where we can to make something on it to be sure it's not fallow, and that's the right thing for it. We're doing the right thing for this company and this business in terms of how we use our assets. That's about the best I can tell you from what I learned. And there are lots of things people do with their assets, far more than I want to get into in terms of the stock market and bond structures and all kind of stuff. We're smart to be simple. The simpler we are about this, the better it is for us in Half Moon Bay and for our customers. So those are three of the key things that I learned there. I just wanted to share that. One other thing I did was I went with Sean to watch them shotcreting earlier in the month up the tank, and I was impressed there too. Once again, it sort of blows your mind to see what they can do in that confined space to coat and then to wrap and then to place concrete around that tank and do it in a very, very, very confined and very difficult to work in area. And the equipment itself is quite fascinating. So once again, every time I see that tank, I'm more and more impressed by what we've been able to achieve here thus far and hopefully finish off with a real bang going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I just touch on that a bit too?
Sure.
Some of the districts we visited with every event is storage and local sources. Boy, everyone is scrambling for the local sources out there, which is understandable. A little bit about treated water, wastewater. That's a huge expense the way I picked it up. But anyway, believe it or not, it is worthwhile going. It's a good conference and a good organization. Thank you.
All right. Move on to Mary.
The October 10th board meeting, the board awarded a contract for the Coastside Wellfield Replacement Project. The GSW in the amount of 3.7 million. Big project. And so this project, as you recall, is it's replacing, 6 wells in Cedars Kid. And we will be installing new electric and controls. And so a piece of this is the SCADA integration. And I'll say this is gonna be, I think, the last ask for the project. It's been the last, so we keep having asked, but this should be the last ask. We at the district's request, reliable automation controls, or RAC, or also it's the organization, the company now owned by Reedy Everett, who has worked with us for since 2009 on our SCADA. We asked him for a proposal for integration services that will include programming and incorporating the critical alarming, data acquisition, and the configuration of the advanced control capabilities, so that we will have access to understanding and being able to control the wells from the district office. And so it's a very good thing. This is a year-long project. And this is, as I say, for the labor associated with the SCADA integration. I don't know, Darren, do you have anything to add to that, or can
I think you covered it pretty well, unless anybody has any questions.
I'm sure it's just a contractual detail, but I just want to dot the i's. On the exclusions, last page, it says they don't include commissioning or equipment startup of any instrumentation not included in the scope of the work. And I was just confused because obviously this is controlling all the stuff he didn't install.
It gets kind of sticky right there, and what he is responsible for is the commissioning and startup of the HMIs and the control panels. The actual commissioning and startup of the wells will be done by the general contractor.
So the PLCs are done by somebody else.
No, the PLCs are done by RAC.
But the PLCs start the pump.
Correct. So it will have to be a joint team at that time. They want to make sure that who's responsible for the actual well starting up and who's responsible for the controls portion of it. So it got a little sticky right there. We had to go through that a few times.
Okay.
But I'm convinced that we have control of both of them.
Okay. I get it. It reads weird.
It does, yes, sir. And it was very sticky with both of them, but they both agreed to that term.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, assumably the VFD contractor's got to be there at the same time. and
Yes, sir.
Say, okay, give me a 4. And
That's correct.
he sends a 4. And
Yeah.
Okay. I can provide a bucket to catch the water.
So I
Take a big one.
see they're using cellular technology to communicate. Which provider? Do you know?
Verizon has been our provider of choice in that canyon, sir.
So does Sarah have a Verizon tower on his property up the hill from there?
Unfortunately, I don't know that information. I do know that we have very good Verizon connection in that canyon.
Okay.
And we have other similar devices working in that canyon right now.
Okay.
on Verizon.
Yeah, because it is a little bit of a hole, and I know you did.
Yes.
The tower is right up the hill, and
I'm not sure I'm hoping that's who it is.
yeah.
It's very reliable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's important. Thank you.
It's worth asking, but as a follow-up to his question, the last SCADA I put in, the cell system had an eSIM that was multi-carrier compatible. And so
We had
when T-Mobile dropped off, it jumped to AT&T. When they dropped off, it switched to Verizon. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is bees knees.
This is new to me, and that's wonderful.
We have that at several sites already.
Yeah, so if that could be incorporated in this, I'd say that would be brilliant.
Very well. I'll check on it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it was just so amazing.
So I
Ken.
move we authorize the general manager to enter into a professional services agreement with Reliable Automation Controls LLC for SCADA integration services for the Pilarcitos Wellfield Replacement Project for a not to exceed amount of $163,450.
I'll second it and, I guess there's no more running in and out, turning them on and turning them off, right? Spending this investment. Good.
We will still have that capability,
Yeah,
but we hope not to use it.
you don't have to prime them, right? That's coming up from my childhood. Go down and turn the pump off and go prime it and turn it on. Thank you for your days, no more.
Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson.
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Hi.
Vice President Philman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. Marion, looks like you're up unless you wanna toss this one.
Oh, I'll talk about our tank, and we had a really, really big month. And Lisa brings it up. We're 322 days into the project, and the what's exciting about this is the whole outside structure is all put together. We had the priest, the stressing this month, and the shotcrete went on to the tank, and so and the roof is basically done. So the next steps will be we're taking all of the DNs as we speak. They're taking all of the scaffolding out of the top of the tank, and they're kind of decommissioning their equipment and off-hauling the work. So it's all it's all coming together. So we have some great pictures, and I know that so many of you came up here at different phases. We had so if you want to go on to these are all just various times with putting in the stressing. So it is, and as we DN has this patented technology for stressing, and I think many of us saw it in action, and it's really something to watch. We have a video that we'd like to share. And I don't know, John, do you want to add anything about this? Because she's pulling up the video.
No, if they have any questions, we're here to answer them. Like Mary said, there was a lot of progress made.
Oh, this is good. I like this picture.
Yeah, we have a complete tank.
So- Okay, so then you can see our this device, or this, what we call that, the
Well,
It's the mulberry bush.
yeah, I mean, they have,
Forgot the name of the device. They have a name for.
yeah, the carousel or something, but they,
Yes.
it's a multi-tool. It does the pre-stressing, it does the shotcreting. They're using it for everything.
It's quite interesting.
My favorite part is the wire.
Yep.
That keeps it
From tipping
tipping over and equidistant.
Yeah, I can watch it.
It's just gorgeous to see. Really exciting.
Because they had to pre-stress at the bottom, like you see them doing it right now, they're doing the double wrap. And then they had to go to the top, but that chain can only move 6 inches at a time.
Wow.
So they had to do 100 as fast as that thing would go to get up to the top. And then they had to do 100 as fast as they could to get back down to the bottom,
Wow.
which takes hours, so.
Good thing it's a fixed price bid.
Mr. Chair, will we be having a ribbon cutting ceremony in the future here?
We're gonna break a champagne on the side of it. Oh,
I would hope so.
Yeah,
So we'll,
okay.
yeah, because
When
this
it's at the
is
state,
really
that-
something.
You can open it to the public.
Thank you.
People,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
It's,
Huh?
so
so nice that the cameras finally really show what's going on.
well, we have our drone
Drone footage.
footage down. That allows us to get this, this view, which has been great.
Unbelievable.
These aren't, are these stored on our website? There's not, they're not available.
We have this one, a portion of it on our website.
Oh, they're,
Yeah,
oh, I didn't go on there.
yeah, we keep,
I got the email with it. Oh, good, so people can actually see it.
yeah, no, it's great.
For those
So,
that are-
Yeah, may I ask staff in the room to put some flowers in around the tanks up there? But
Landscape,
soil-
I'm liking the sound of that.
Unfortunately, there will be no room for landscaping.
It's gonna be paved.
It will be paved.
Throw
How
some
about on the
flowers.
hillside?
But John could paint a flower on the side.
Eucalyptus. Right, we do have a lot of native.
Maybe we can get the person,
That's fodder for
we'll
fire.
get the young lady that does the Punya wall.
Yeah.
To come and do something
A
every day
green
on the
wall.
side of the.
If you can get everybody to agree on it.
No, that would be a remarkable thing if we actually paint something on it.
You could put a pumpkin on it.
Uh,
Thought you meant the agreement would be one.
Yeah.
Well, since Jeffrey's been taking art courses, I
Yeah.
think, and nominate him.
I can do a pumpkin.
Don't be tagging that thing.
well, we have her go the Cougars.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be good. Like that.
Yeah.
Keepers on.
I mean, the good news, just not terribly visible, thanks.
Well, it was from the United flight to San Diego if you had a window seat.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, this goes out over.
So the tank.
Yeah. Distance.
All right.
You could see it from a distance.
Well, all right.
Great job. I've seen a lot of construction projects in my life. And I've seen them in places where I would expect them to be spectacular. But to think that little old Half Moon Bay, Coastside County Water District has built something of this scale, that efficiently, that much on budget, and that impressively to hopefully last 50, 75, 100 years. I mean, that's just, it's monumental. It's bigger than, yeah, that's a really cool thing. It's monumental. And it'll be heritage, you know? Children's children. It's unbelievable.
We'll have to build the new headquarters building out that way.
Now I'm with you and sell the Main Street property.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm in on that
Not
one.
on the.
I would like to comment.
Sorry.
I would like to comment that on Thursday while I was in San Diego for Aqua, I went to the DN headquarters in San Diego, in El Cajon, out in the and saw their yard where they bring everything in and they fabricate or assemble before they ship it. And it was really impressive how, they really, well, it's like clockwork and they have everything organized. So it's ready to go and arrives, on site the day we need it, or we're close to the time we need the various pieces. So very impressive. I was glad I got to go on that tour. So,
I personally think that we owe a thank you to the Half Moon Bay Building and Garden team for the way that they produced and delivered in a timely way the cement, because that was critical when they're zooming around the edge and they're trying to protect the metal wrapping, the wire wrapping. It's really significant to have things show up on time. And, a local contractor, so that's a wonderful thing in my opinion. And fortunately, right down at the bottom of the hill, my gosh, how could they be closer?
No,
But you think about doing something like that where the cement producer is 30 miles away or 10 miles away or over the hill, facing traffic. I mean, things like that came together couldn't be really predicted. But in fact, they've occurred and it's just, I think that also is amazing, having the on-site supervision, the management, the whole team, paying our bills on time so people perform on time. And it's just the whole project is thumbs up.
Yeah,
Really, really impressive.
no, the alignment with the stars, as they say, that's it, that's what it was. The cement that comes from other places, it might not have been as pretty.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I can just imagine, no, I'm just thinking about some of the times they stop traffic on 92, et cetera.
Well, on Night of Lights, a cement truck tipped over on 92 and shut the whole thing
No, I
down.
know for 5 hours.
That's what tipped over?
Yeah.
I knew 92 was closed. I didn't know it was a cement truck.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah, well,
how can you get in the way of
Everything
Night of Lights
aligns well.
parade?
It's
It's
good,
just
yeah.
not acceptable.
no, it's
Well,
great.
I was on it for 3 hours from the top of the hill to get home Friday.
Wow.
It was
And then I
unbelievable.
couldn't go one because the tunnel was closed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you,
Oh.
we got lucky with the convenience of things that we had.
Yeah.
But to bear on this, that's absolutely right. Really interesting. They build, I guess Mary said they build 80 to 100 tanks a year this outfit.
Wow.
You think about that scale. Wow. If this is 100, it shows you how massive the business is.
I did a tank inspection 2 weeks ago of a steel tank that was recoated a year ago by the same contractor who used to redo our steel tanks. And the coating had failed in 1 year.
Hopefully they're geared up to do one more. I'd just like them to shift the equipment. Is that about 50 feet to the east?
Yeah, right.
We can pay for it, they'll build it. All right, Mary, let's take this on to the next item.
Traditionally, the board of directors considers election of officers of the December meeting. So
Just Ken.
I'd like to nominate Director Feldman for president. of the
All right,
Coastside
I'll
County
second
Board.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
we can close nominations then.
Yep. We need a new vice president. Whose
So
turn is it?
who's cutting next in line?
That's what I was just trying to remember whose turn is it? It's gotta
Is
be.
it John?
It's John.
I think it's Chris or John.
I think it's John,
Is it?
Is it John?
I believe so.
You up for it, John?
Of course, with such a wonderful board and staff, it
It is,
would be
John.
honored for me to go one more time.
All right.
I don't
Thank you.
know, but I would nominate John
Right.
or for vice president.
But that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Well, but I mean, it's.
Can we do it as one?
Well, it's a reform. Yeah, we can have them both nominated.
Doing both at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had nominations for your board president, there was, and then you closed it. And now you're nominating for vice president. When you're done doing the nominations, then somebody will need to actually make a motion because, and a second,
Got it.
and then the board would need to
All right.
actually get vote. But I assumed you wanted to do the nominations for both
Right.
first and
Yeah,
then take
that's
the
a good
action
idea.
second.
And that's acceptable.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm following you guys.
Okay, well, why don't I make the nomination then? You okay with that? All right. I'd like to make a motion that Bob becomes the chair and John becomes the vice chair starting 2026.
Second.
Quick, clean, concise.
Need a second and.
No, he seconded,
Yes.
he shot it out pretty fast.
Perfect.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Feldman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes.
You're here.
We still, the record that's there.
yeah, I do think.
Record that should be outgoing there.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Happy to be here, guys.
The-
All right, Mary, you're on.
Oh, can we make comments on that recognition?
Please, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to say that the first time I heard about a cement tank, I thought somebody was flying too hot, in the atmosphere. Or skiing too fast down the mountains or
I did that too.
or mountain biking without, any concern for his personal safety. But when I heard about it, and I've now witnessed what that's done for the district, I think that President Reynolds has brought information, education, knowledge, a desire to persevere, even when Maybe he didn't get exactly all the votes he wanted on some of the items. He was still consistent. He was not vindictive. He was open-minded. He was encouraging, and he was always there. He's always there. You know, there's a break in the pipe, and somebody accuses us of a poor system in Princeton Harbor. And who's there? His daughter's there. And then he's there, you know, because he cares. So he's there. And I don't know how people feel about that, but all I can say is thank you.
Yes, if I may make a comment too, probably one of the most water knowledgeable chair. I talked to different water people down in San Diego and told them how wonderful our chair is at this position, a tough one to follow up with because so knowledgeable on pumps and wells and water and pipes, and as you just said. So we were very fortunate to have you in these times, and so thank you, Mr. Chair, for all your hard work and travel and still taking care of our board here. Thank you.
Yeah, even without being the chair, the knowledge that Glenn has brought to this board, I mean, it came up at most recent Bosco meeting. How many of the districts do not have AMI metering? How far behind the curve they are.
Yeah.
And it was with Glenn's blessing, once he identified which provider was the one to go with. And with his blessing, I felt comfortable taking this district into the 21st century. And we are leaps and bounds above other districts. And I'm a guy, you know, deep water is my plants and forgets to turn off the hose. You know, so I get calls from staff. What a wonderful service that is provided in the entire district. And it was thanks to Glenn's blessing.
Guys, thanks for the kind words. I want to be really clear. This is a team, and you guys are running this show, and I'm just cheering you on. So I appreciate the kind words, but this organization functions really well, from staff to our brave superintendents, Mary. The whole team works together to make this a great place to make sure we're doing a really good job so that our constituents have reliable water at the lowest possible cost. And you guys should be very proud of the work you do and how you do it. So my thanks, like, you know, this is a team effort, and there's no individual here who's knocking it out of the park. It's all you guys doing an amazing job. But when's our Christmas party?
Yeah, just want to say that in his term during the year, and this year has been a good year for us.
Yeah.
I think everybody should recognize we've done some really good work this year in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our work on the human resources side of the business. And Glenn's been among, you know, in this all along during the year, and I think we've made a lot of progress and accomplished many of the tasks that we had hoped to get rolling and get started on. And I think it's been very successful 2025, actually. I mean, you come down to it, lots has happened, and I think we're in a far superior position right now than we may have been a year ago. And so I want to thank Glenn for his leadership in making that happen.
Well, I think that's a great comment there, but maybe we could let him put his name on one of the pipes or tanks up at the hill.
How's about on a file hydrant?
There we go. Fire hydrant.
Yeah. I mean, personally marking it as
Yeah.
All right, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
good job. Thank you.
So we have a strategic planning session that is scheduled for January 12th for half day. And it's going to be held at the Ted Act Center. So we have a room there, you know, just Jeff's going to be the facilitator. So we have staff have been working on planning for the agenda, planning for the session, and we'll continue to work this month. We've put together, I sent out, staff had put together a survey of various topics and things that we felt were important. and we have some of them back. But I think we have a lot of priorities, in each of the areas we identified as, that we, whether it's, with dealing with infrastructure, local sources, the organization. So ideas for topics and various things, but, we want to make this, something that we really get something out of for the session. So, would appreciate your comments and ideas. We've put together a framework that we put in my general manager's report. We are, working a few hours with a consultant who's helping us put the framework together. But we actually, so some of these things, we want to make sure we have time to talk about topics. And, the idea is identifying at the end, potentially, identifying key, 3 items or 3 key goals that we really want to work on. Of course, all of the items we have areas we need to work on, but it's really if we can, kind of zero in and come in to some deliverables, and also discussion of what's important for the district. I mean, what do you see as important, and how we help us with this, from the staff perspective. We're not trying to do a lot of, we're not here to recreate the mission statement or.
Thank God.
We did the other day we took an hour with Darren and Sean and Jeff and I with this consultant, and we came up with a framework. I mean, I have the SWOT brainstorming, which is identifying district strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And we don't want to spend hours going through that, but we just wanted to, have a framework of the environment that we're working in right now, and some of the important issues that are impacting the district, whether it be regulatory issues, or it's just there are local source issues, or threats from the inside or from the outside of ongoing legislation, various things. So anyway, so I wanted to get your perspective if this is the right direction, or would you suggest any other changes?
I for one am ecstatic because we don't know Jeff very well. Some of us have been here a long time, but he's new. And so if he's conducting or helping to conduct this meeting, for me, it's a wonderful opportunity to see how it is to work with him. We have experience, on the finance committee, we've worked with him, he's done a great job, and we've seen him support Mary. And so there's lots of really positive things there. But I think it'll be really nice to be able to be more, interactive and communicative in this environment. So I'm thrilled. And I really appreciate the fact that we don't have a professional facilitator that's going to drive us through the old normal, put up the paper and put up the 7 items. And because we've done that a number of times, and I'm not complaining or saying that was good or bad, but it's a routine. And what happens in routines oftentimes is you lose those moments where something just falls out of the woodwork. It wasn't expected, it wasn't formatted, it wasn't worked toward, it just happens. So I'm ecstatic about that. And how it'll work out, who that knows? We don't know till we're there. And so I for one, seeing the way you've discussed it and met about it, and talked about it. And really the organization and district's very different. I mean, we've never really had 2 separate people that are doing the field work, managing that. We've never really had a special separate person managing the office environment and being the administrator of that. It's a really new format for the district, if you think about it. So I think it's exciting to have a shot at that, think about that, interact about that, and hopefully be smart and help come up with some reasonable, exciting ideas. And what I hope is that it becomes reviewable on an annual basis. something where we don't just do it and bury it and it's another file on the shelf. But rather every year, maybe in January, we pull it out and we go, hey, we're really thinking this way. And, you know, are we still on that mode or is it a different mode or that? So I'm really, shouldn't say so much, but I'm excited about it and excited enough to leave the snow if there is any. Yeah, that's a big step for me. Makes that really clear.
I think your point about ongoing reporting out is something we've talked about in this process, so that it doesn't become shelfware. And then we have perhaps more frequent sessions to report out on our progress against these goals. That's one of the things we discussed, so you made a key point.
Excellent.
Everybody, be sure to get your input into Mary though, if you haven't. That's important.
Been there, done that.
Okay, all right. Just if anybody, just be sure you have it in.
I would appreciate that.
I'm not thinking.
It's not a finger point.
So,
I think it's good timing too, Mr. Chair, and then especially with these dam safety issues and all that stuff, so we can review that. And I'll be honest with you, I did leave the rate history rain records that we have, and then I gave one to our staff by too. And we were talking in the 1800s and early 1900s, the 56s of 60. And I talked to the emergency staff who worked in City Hall yesterday, and I told them that reservoir was built in the 1700s, and I have records of that too.
Wow.
So we're willing to work with them.
Yeah.
Willing to work with them. That's it.
Isn't that well?
I want it. And then
I was just in diapers.
one last comment here.
That's a visual image I just didn't need to tell you.
For that January day, we'll see off the record, close the cameras. I'll see if my wife will make pumpkin cookies for off the record.
I'm all in favor of that. Do we need to vote on that?
I have a question on the brochure, the notice that we're sending out, and I'd like to compliment the staff that you've done a really good job in my tenure here. This bulletin has changed from a legal document to a description of what we're doing. I'm really, really proud. And as I read this one, this is the best I've read to date. And I really wanted to say, I'm really impressed at how far the district has come in making this an informational document rather than a legal check the box. And I'm really, really pleased. I have a question for the board, and I'm not going one way or the other. I'm just curious as to what the team thinks. Many water districts put a comparison page of how their rates compare to other water utilities. And we don't, and I'm told, I really love what we've got right in front of us. And I was just curious, John, tell me what you think of having a comparative chart of where other districts compare.
Yeah, we at San Diego last week, we all kind of have the same minor issues and major issues too. But yeah, it's good to keep the information out. We have nothing to hide, and we in our neighbor area here with the city and us, we have to continue to provide fresh, safe water for our community. And that's how we do it, working together. But I think that's a good idea.
Chris, what do you think?
I think it's a little difficult. I understand where you're coming from. I think a lot of districts are still behind the curve and artificially low. And they're facing major infrastructure improvements, which will in the very near future spike their rates. But I think right now, there's a lot of deferred maintenance that I'm seeing in the water world. And again, it comes up in Bosco, how far behind the curve they are, the looming infrastructure improvements out there, while comparatively, on paper,
Showing low rates.
their rates are lower than ours.
Yeah,
So to me, it's a little risky.
yeah, I
Um,
love it. Okay,
So that'll be.
no, it's a great, that's a
that's
great
my
opinion.
concern.
What do you think, Bob?
I think I agree with Chris. And that, I don't see any reason to have to make that comparison in this document. I
Okay,
think this document simply states the facts of what our rates are going to be and why. And gives some information to the public about what they get for their money.
yeah,
We use other people's rates when we do our rate setting as we prepare and look at our goals and our cost of service. We actually do take account of what other people are doing to get some idea of where we stand in the menu, and that's always available if somebody wants. I think we just stick to our knitting and say how it works.
It's a good one.
And that's it. If they have a question, how do we compare? They'll ask staff. Where were you in the menu? You know, about halfway in, but you know, this is what you get for your money. I don't think we should make it a point of something that nobody really necessarily would be that interested in unless they really want to be.
thanks. Ken, what do you
Ken
think?
touched on it earlier.
The two-
No leaks.
Yeah, the two things that I would say about are these. One thing I would say is if we were to compare to local purveyor, they actually tax people's real estate and then they have rates. So I think it would be very hard to compare that
Comparison.
to us when it's simple rate.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, we already have a lousy relationship with those people. And so I think to go out publicly and show that our rates are better is just another
Interesting. Okay.
stick it to them. And,
Okay.
and I hope, I pray someday that we are able to convince them to have an intertie where we can support each other like good neighbors.
Yeah.
And I think that when we come out as a neighbor that's like I
Yeah,
think it's
okay.
bad. So I'm not against it because I think it would be great. But for those reasons, I don't think the time is right and I hope that changes.
Yeah,
But I'm telling you, man, 30 freaking years and it ain't any better.
yeah.
You know what
No,
I'm saying?
I asked the
30 years
question
is-
and your answers are really excellent and solidify and reaffirm that what we're doing is really good. So again, I'd say thank you again to staff for doing such a great job of this. This is really well done.
Mhm.
I'm really proud to see this going out as some explaining to the folks what we're doing and I really appreciate it.
Couple more things on here. if I can-
Please fire away.
When you skip to it.
It was a color brochure that caught my attention, Mary. I couldn't resist. It was the shiny object in the sky.
I know. Well, I know my little 4-line thing of the next item, but it was, we are extremely excited that all Bosque agencies have unanimously approved the, there's an amendment to the amended restated water supply agreement, who are tier 2 regulation for droughts. And so that's finally done. And I don't know, Chris or Director Michelson, if you want to comment on that.
So this was done at the managerial level. So I did play a very small role in lobbying Nicole for our concerns in that we are an outlier district and that, we, in a good year, we can produce almost half of our water, and the way it was structured, we would be severely punished in times of a drought because our local sources would dry up, yet the allocations would be based on us only buying, 50% of our water in a good year from San Francisco. So we were the outlier. And I have to say, Mary and Kathleen really drove that home. And I know there were some really stressful times when it just really wasn't resonating over there. They just weren't listening. Mary and Kathleen didn't let up. They brought it across the finish line. And so now, hopefully this never gets tested. This will be third or fourth year of a drought. I mean, the allocations could get really, really draconian. But this is a legacy. This will outlive most of us in this room. I mean, it really is career defining to get this across. Because right now, when we were first formed, SFPUC was the big enemy, and we banded together to beat up on SFPUC. And now at the Bosco level, I'm already starting to see fractures. This may be the last 26-0 vote we ever get. There are fractures developing here. Now that particularly now that the WISP is done, that's basically what we're for. To see the seismic vulnerability addressed. So now it's becoming much more polarized, much more politicized. So the fact that we got a 26-0 is huge. I'm not sure this could happen again. So really, really career defining. And then that's not hyperbole. This is the real deal. Because none of us would want to be sitting in these chairs, or certainly staff wouldn't want to be out there in that third or fourth year of a drought being water cop. I mean, the cutbacks would have been terrible. So thank you to everyone involved.
Yeah, with the cutbacks, the way, because of our local sources being surface water, we lose the local sources in the drought. But in the other agency, other Bosca agencies, some may have groundwater, but they don't lose the groundwater in the drought. So in the calculation, in the old, former calculation, we would have, where you may have a 15% cutback, for instance, the calculation would cause us to have a 30% cutback. So we're now back to with this calculation that we were able to get kind of carved out for us. It's back to, if there is a 15% cutback, we'll have likely a 15% cutback. Others in the other Bosque agencies may have 10, some may have a little, but we're kind of in that range.
We closed the gap.
We closed the gap. So we're excited. And for this, we really had to get a unanimous vote. If one agency said no, we couldn't have gotten this passed. So
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's unanimous.
It has to be, this one had to be unanimous.
Oh, okay. Well, that's tricky.
So I think it's really important to have something from the signature of the board president to Kathleen thanking, because she's had a really major effort in this, hasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice.
I popped in as soon as I got the email from Tom at Bosca and went into her office and personally thanked her. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And yes, and more could be done. Absolutely. She really played a pivotal role.
Okay, well, we should.
So I think it would be really, to me, I think it'd be nice
Yeah,
to
I'm happy to
recognize.
do that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Mary,
to
I can
recognize
talk to
her
you
as a-
tomorrow.
as a board.
I believe, Mr. Chair, that's gonna be a January discussion in there too, part of it. And then I had a great conversation with one of the top districts in the Bay Area, Alameda County, and they're going on about the property tax for the water bills, correct? And I know our neighbor to the north, I think, is property tax there too. And so he was kind of pushing it on me.
Yeah, John's been pushing that hard for a while
Yeah.
now. I know of whom you speak, John.
Yeah, you're exactly. He asked about you too.
Yeah, has he still got his foot on the brake?
Yeah. No, he said how great our chair is too.
I do have one more item on this past Friday. I attended a meeting that was held by Congressman Hardy and Supervisor Mueller. And the subject was this coastal resiliency infrastructure strategic plan. And we had met all of the various agencies on the Coastside had met almost 2 years ago to talk about projects and to come up with a list of projects from anything that could involve water, storm, wastewater, fire, just and so these so there was a list about 40 plus projects, and Originally, Supervisor Mueller was hiring a grant writer to support writing grants for these projects. And that kind of fell through with some of the changeover with some of the federal funding on some of this stuff. So this was a chance to to go look at projects and see which, if there's not a lot of federal money out there, as we know right now, but it is a chance to look at the various buckets and to see where what projects could be funded. And they're really pushing saying, well, there is money out there for water projects. And I had originally 2 years ago put in our tank for possible funding, and I pitched the second tank, but it is something I'm planning on meeting with one of the staff members of Congressman McCarty, and to give them an update and to kind of push that. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but it is something of looking at. I think these projects have gotten too expensive.
Oh, man.
And to not, we have to look at alternatives for funding.
Good job.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Right.
Right.
Folks attended.
Oh, it was probably, I'd say 50 people.
50.
Yeah, down here in
Nice.
Supervisor Mueller's.
Oh, it was up here.
Yeah, it was at that Princeton. And
Good. No,
and from Pacifica to Pescadero, I mean, they have the staff from City Hall. We had
Good.
city manager from Pacifica. It's
No, I just was.
That's great.
Good.
That's really great.
Thing.
Okay, busy month, as we already covered, DN site work, they did complete the pre-stressing and did all the shock treatment. That's done. Up at the Nunes Water Treatment Plant, we drained and cleaned the set basin. Where we were running on the other one, and we also had EKI come out to look at it because we have a future project for the chain and flight replacement refurbishment that was after we got the new set basin online with plate settlers from the Ranger project a couple of years ago. It was noted that those are due to be switched out, so we're working on that. The Andrini brothers replaced those two valves for the mainline extension, so we will have all new main for if we ever do take out Half Moon Bay 3.
You mean when?
I will say when if you want me to, but I have to say, the infrastructure's in where we will not have to touch the road. Everything has been extended, so all the work that we're doing now, we won't tear up and have to redo. So we planned ahead part of this project. It was added scope, but the staff felt it was a good time to do it with all the permanent cement treated base we're putting on the road and everything. We don't want to dig into that in the future. We have a new electric gate out of Denison that was installed, and we have the cameras out there so staff can see who's coming in, and we can open the gate, and it just keeps people out. And then they don't have to get out in the middle of the night if we get called out for some reason. Field staff did first aid and CPR training this last month. Met the city regarding backflow regulations. And we had the pre-con meeting for Felicity's Flow project that is kicking off. Some of you remember we have the residual control system for up at EG3 that got delivered, and they're starting to install it this month, but we took it in last. Dustin Johns passed his recertification for backflow. And we had fire inspections at Main Street and Crystal Springs. If anybody has any questions.
What's the road past the new tank up to the treatment looks like it's getting tired. What's the schedule on redoing?
That is part of the DN tank project.
Oh, it is. It's included.
It's actually, we're calling it phase 2.
Okay.
But it is all in that it's gonna be done. The road will be ground down, very much similar to what we did at Denison Tank Hill. And then, except this one's getting 1 foot of cement treated base and then 4 inches of asphalt over the
That
top of
sounds
it.
great.
We do have a lot of equipment that comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And with the upgrades that we made at Nunes Water Treatment Plant, where we can take bulk deliveries of caustic, we take bulk deliveries of alum, we try to limit as few trucks coming up and down that hill.
Yeah,
But they are heavy when you're
Yeah, they're
getting
big
3,000 and 4,000 gallons of
yeah,
chemicals, so. The road is tired,
yeah.
but it's due to be replaced,
Okay.
so.
How will you resolve the deep swale at the first curve coming up that road? Looks like people go in there or you have to,
They're
Put
just waiting
plates
for
over it
Fiat
or
to go
something.
in and then they can go right over it.
So that the V ditch is covered because both the Ranger project and the DN project, we required to have semi trucks pulling up to 52-foot trailers.
yes,
And a 52-foot trailer does not follow the tractor,
yes,
and the rear end drags over and it'll end up in the ditch.
yes.
When you're fully loaded with a 400 class excavator, you don't want your rear end in that V ditch. So we put the plates down there, so that the truck can get in and out. As soon as the project's over, we don't use that on a daily basis, and our chemical delivery trucks are shorter than this. Most of them are 38 feet or less.
So
we
it's
don't
not,
need
it's
it.
not a normal problem. It's only a problem in this construction period.
It, depending on the truck driver, it can still become a
It's
problem.
really deep. I mean, I was
And the
surprised.
V
by
ditch it's, we don't use that technology anymore.
Yeah.
It's a softer swale that we've transitioned to. Darren and I have been talking about it. We've replaced it around the tanks. We'll have those swales that are not the deep V ditches.
Yeah, because some of us old people, you know, we don't see that well anymore. Driving up that road's a little nerve wracking.
Give me a call, make sure you get up and okay.
Oh, thanks, all right. Getting that scored. Thank you.
Anything else?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody got any requests for meetings or items to add for January? All right, well then I'll adjourn the 2025 meeting. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Mr. Chair,